Welcome to Hospitality Reinvented. I am your host, Doug Radkey, and this is episode number 4 of this new podcast and video series where we look to break the status quo and the old thinking that has plagued the bar, restaurant, and hotel industry over the years. Very quickly, I want to thank everyone who has been listening and watching to each episode so far. If you are new here, if you have been enjoying the show so far, please leave a comment or a review on whatever channel it is that you're listening or watching on so that we can keep growing this community. Today, we are talking about something that's been a core focus for many of us, yet it's often misunderstood, which is KPIs or key performance indicators. But here's the twist. Here is the reinvention. Instead of talking about KPIs in the traditional sense, I want to reframe them in a way that truly drives value to a hospitality setting and reframe them in a way that will help drive the results that you are looking for. But let's take a step back first to look at how most people understand KPIs. In its most simplest form, a key performance indicator, a KPI again, is a measurable value that indicates how effectively a business or individual is achieving their objectives. However, the impact of KPIs when they are properly implemented go beyond mere numbers. They act as focal points that align team efforts, reinforce your core values, and they set clear expectations. And when they are properly implemented, KPIs clarify priorities, create accountability, and ultimately drive performance improvements. Now, taking it a step further, KPIs can also tap into human psychology, serving as powerful motivators when employees see a direct link between their contributions in your bar, restaurant, or hotel's success. And when leaders emphasize KPIs that resonate with a team's values and their goals, they build a culture of achievement and engagement. Now, instead of seeing KPIs as this abstract target, which unfortunately is how many of them are used out there these days, employees can feel more involved and invested in the outcomes, which enhances the morale and drives higher productivity and performance. This approach to KPIs turns metrics into meaningful milestones, transforming traditional measurements into a source of inspiration and collective progress. Traditionally, though, looking back over the years, KPIs in hospitality have been heavily numbers focused. Think about food costs and pour costs, labor costs, RevPAR, occupancy rates, and profit margins, just to name a few of the more well-known ones that a lot of people use. While these metrics are essential, a purely numbers-driven approach to achieving them can limit the true engagement with both employees and guests. They only tell part of the story. Often, these traditional KPIs don't capture the full guest experience or the staff's commitment to delivering exceptional service or productivity or whatever is needed that will help obtain those numbers. And when KPIs are viewed only as metrics, your business can fall into pitfalls like misaligned goals, reactive decision-making, and a lack of connection with what really drives success, which is people. Over-focusing on just the metrics can often lead to your staff feeling disengaged and underappreciated, which impacts your overall morale and service quality. Today, we want to shift that perspective. In a people-centered industry like ours, numbers alone don't always tell the full story. That is why in this episode, we are going to redefine KPIs and go beyond the numbers, focusing instead on how engaging our people can truly elevate hospitality operations to deliver the outcomes, the numbers that you need. We'll explore how KPIs can evolve to create exciting, people-centered environments that drive both financial success and exceptional guest experiences. I want you to think of KPIs not just as key performance indicators, but as the core ways to keep people informed, keep people involved, keep people interested, and keep people inspired. Because in the end, it's our people, our team members, and our guests that drive those traditional metrics forward. So let's break down each one of those KPIs. First up in my list is the KPI keeping people informed. A lot of problems in hospitality arise when there's a lack of communication. Staff don't always know what's expected of them, why certain changes are happening, or how their role impacts the bigger picture. And when people are left in the dark, confusion and frustration quickly follows. Now, imagine running a restaurant, for example, where you've made a decision to switch up the menu. You cannot just go and make those changes. You've got to ensure that both your kitchen team and your service teams understand the reasons behind it. Informing your team about why the changes are even happening, whether it's due to costs or seasonality or even guest feedback, informing them helps empower them. With some very simple but structured communication systems and also standard operating procedures, your team is more likely to buy into that change and feel confident in their roles and pass on that enthusiasm to the guest experience. So, okay, next up on the KPI list is keeping people involved. Keeping people involved isn't just a feel-good strategy. It's a practical one. Involving your team in decision-making, especially decisions that impact their day-to-day work, which more often than not impacts your guest experience, brings out a sense of ownership and also accountability. Let's look at a hotel setting, for example. You might be trying to improve your guest check-in processes. Instead of making all of the changes in isolation as a management team, involve your front desk staff and take it a step further to involve a group of your loyal guests. They are the ones that are on the ground. They are the ones interacting with guests or staff from the guest perspective, and they'll have the insights into where those bottlenecks could be happening. By inviting their feedback, you're not only getting practical solutions, but you're also showing your team and your guests that their experience and their ideas matter. And this goes a long way in retaining your staff and also driving further guest loyalty. All right, now let's move on to my third KPI, keeping people interested. Now, let's be real here. The hospitality industry is challenging, and burnout is a real issue that has plagued this industry. And when team members lose interest, it can be felt throughout the entire guest experience and your entire operations. So how do we keep people interested? It's about developing a cohesive team that's first built based on the core values of your brand. It's about creating opportunities for growth. It's about celebrating milestones and ensuring that roles remain challenging, but also meaningful. If you are running a bar, for example, give your bartenders a chance to contribute to the drink menu or to create a limited time offer or host a cocktail workshop. I strongly believe that there is so much untapped creativity in this industry. Keep their interest by aligning their personal growth goals with your brand's goals. This approach creates a sense of purpose, and that goes much beyond just showing up for a shift, right? Now, one of my favorite KPIs is the last one here, keeping people inspired. When people are inspired, they are motivated to go above and beyond. They bring energy, and they bring passion to their roles. They're not just doing a job. They are contributing to something that they believe in. They are waking up. They are excited to come to work every single day. They become brand ambassadors for your bar, your restaurant, or your hotel. Inspiring your team often involves setting ambitious but attainable goals. Say, for example, your restaurant wants to win an industry award. Rally your team around that goal. Break down the how and the why and celebrate the small wins along the way and share that feedback and the results throughout the journey. When people see the direct impact of their efforts, it creates a cycle of motivation and inspiration. All right. So how does all of this tie back into running a successful hospitality business? When it comes down to integrating this new KPI approach into your everyday operations. Keep your team informed on what is happening. Involve them in decisions that affect their roles. Keep them interested by giving them meaningful tasks and roles to do, and inspire them by setting goals that they can get behind. Imagine the impact on a guest walking into a bar where every staff member is excited and knowledgeable and engaged, from the server to the bartender to the manager walking the floor. That energy is contagious, and it's what turns both a staff and guest experience from just good to exceptional. And that's the power of this people-centered KPI approach. This is what will drive the traditional KPIs as you know them forward. We have to stop making it all about numbers, and we have to get back to the true definition of hospitality. Now, wrapping up episode 4 here, shifting the way we look at KPIs is crucial to building a sustainable, people-centered business. And when you focus on keeping people informed and involved and interested and inspired, you create a team that's engaged and aligned with your vision of your business. And in hospitality, that translates directly to the guest experience. This commitment to excellence builds a foundation of trust and retainment and loyalty and brand advocacy, which all fuel long-term growth. And with this approach, your numbers and your operational performance will naturally improve, as motivated teams are proactive and they're responsive and they're innovative in tackling challenges. I encourage you today to examine your current KPI approach. Consider how integrating engagement and inspiration could reshape and enhance your business outcomes. Thanks for tuning in to Hospitality Reinvented. If you are as passionate about transforming hospitality as I am, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with others in the industry. And if you want to chat further, look for my 60-minute impact session or our Clarity coaching program. And remember, if you are looking for more insights or support in making these ideas a reality in your own business, check out our full suite of resources available over at krghospitality.com.